2022 Estoril round. Tissot Superpole Race gets underway. Bautista with a stinker of a start. Razgatlioglu's made a good one, gets alongside Jonathan Ray and passes him in towards turn number one. Reading up into the provisional podium places in the early stages then. He's come through on Bautista for third. Locatelli 6th, 5th. Rinaldi battling for 6th place. A big incident towards the back of the field. But up at the front, Jonathan Ray now beginning to stalk Toprak Razgatlioglu as Scott Redding defends third position. So it's Luca Mayas who's gone down in the melee at turn number one. Marvin Fritz has gone down then on lap number one, so 2 incidents already. It has been pretty crash-tastic this morning, particularly in the Super Sport class as Jonathan Ray runs wide through Gancho Redding, not quite alongside. He's going to try and get the run now coming off turn number 10, and it is chaotic here. That's going to be Xavi Vieja, I think, who has gone down. Razgatlioglu and Ray breaking clear now of Scott Redding. This is where Alvaro Bautista made his pass on Toprak Razgatlioglu in the run down to the line in race one yesterday. He swiftly dispatched Redding and now he'll begin to close on the 2 race leaders. How many times did Razgatlioglu and Ray swap and change into turn at number one? Jonathan Ray with a great run coming off the parabolic has got that move done very early indeed on Toprak Razgatlioglu. Hits the front then at the end of lap number 2. Toprak won't be able to respond on the brakes in towards turn number 1. Lecuona is through on Scott Redding, so that's for 4th position. 1.5 seconds covering your lead quintet, and Lecuona the fastest man off them last time around, a 1 minute 38.443. The times really are improving quite swiftly in this race. Xavi Vieja, after his incident at turn 7, comes into the pits presumably to retire. Razgatlioglu in the slipstream of Jonathan Ray at the start now of lap number 5. New personal best from both of them, as you'd expect as track conditions improve. Bautista holds firm against Lecuona. His speed coming off the final turn and down the start-finish straight, enough to defend that 3rd position. Lecuona hasn't been out of the podium, Bautista rather hasn't been out of the podium positions yet this season. That's Loris Baz who's gone down. He was outside of the top 9 places, so wasn't set to score points, but he's certainly out of them now.
Oh, a big moment for Bautista. Very lucky to stay on there as well. He's trying to push as hard as he can.
Is that Laverty? Eugene Laverty has gone down. Sorry to interrupt you, Steve.
But
that's both of the Bonovo bikes now out of the 3rd row of the grid, and that's at high speed as well.
Yeah, that's on the entry into turn 6 as well, and that's a big impact for Eugene there, and a fast entry to that corner.
Nose to tail as they cross the line at the end of lap 6. Razgatlioglu to the inside of Jonathan Ray to recover the lead. The pair almost touch. Jonathan Ray tries to lean in. He's going to miss the circuit altogether. Be careful offline. That's where it's going to be slippery. Impassive reaction from Kenan Zafoglu, but he'll be delighted that his man has not just come through, but he's managed to force a margin on Jonathan Ray. Ray may well have to dig in now and accept 2nd place.
You can see there for Jonathan Ray just trying to lean into Toprak there on the run into turn 1. Toprak, his eyes clearly focused on the apex for turn 1. You can see for Kawasaki, Fabian Faure, rider coach for Jonathan Ray in particular, the frustration for them at seeing that move made.
That's Alex Lowe's closing in on Scott Redding coming off the final turn, clearly being held back by Redding at the moment as they come now into lap number 9. 2 to go. Lowe's makes his burst through side by side between the Kawasaki on the inside and the BMW on the outside. Redding eventually has to yield. Lowe's is through for 6th position, has been held back for a while though behind Scott Redding, and that's allowed Andrea Locatelli to escape away. Razgatlioglu still leading the way, 8 tenths ahead of Jonathan Ray. That's been the gap really since Ray was run off the racing line at turn at number 1, trying to defend top spot. Big moment for Toprak Razgatlioglu, and Jonathan Ray is through. And curse on the commentator, I said that things look largely settled, and suddenly, from absolutely nowhere, Jonathan Ray has been gifted the race lead. Toprak almost lost the bike altogether. Good save from him through Gancho. Now it's going to be a close finish. Yesterday it was Toprak Razgatlioglu who lost out in the run down to the line. Can the reigning world champion snatch it at the death? The answer looks like being no. Jonathan Ray wins the Superpole race at the Estoril round, and that one was rather fortunate in the end. Toprak losing it through turn 9, saves 2nd place, and it's another race without a victory for the Yamaha number 1.
You're going to just see the front end is just going to wash away for Toprak through here. and so lucky to be able to keep that up. Really skillful riding from Toprak, as we've seen time and again. He tries to immediately recover that down the inside through the next corner. Great racing once again between the two.
And when you watch it on board as well, it looks even closer from the perspective of the bike of Jonathan Rea, just how close Razgatlioglu was to his tail. And Rea signalling as he crosses the line in celebration. He won't have enjoyed being passed by Razgatlioglu there.